Let's talk about today's game. Let's talk about the pressure that Manchester United are under, Martin, because they've spent over £1 billion now since Sir Alex left. They haven't won a trophy since 2017. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spent over £370 million now. They had a horrendous run in terms of getting to the semi-finals of various competitions, losing against City twice in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, against Chelsea in the FA Cup, Sevilla in the Europa League. But they finally got to a final last year in the Europa League against Villarreal, but they lost that as well. So how much pressure is the Norwegian under this season, do you feel, Martin?
Well, he's managing Manchester United, so the pressure comes with exactly that. No question about it, that he will be expecting something this particular season. Now, that's easy enough to say that, Anne, because does that mean that everybody who doesn't win a competition, for instance, they finished second last year, and it was a really decent run, but Manchester City, after a poorish enough start, just swept the board in front of them. And so Manchester United finishing second seems to be okay, but obviously trophies have been few and far between since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and therefore there will be pressure here put on him. I think that last season, trying to win the Europa League, being beaten on penalties, what was it, 11-10 or something, against the goalkeeper facing each other. I think if that was the case, then I think that would have been nice to have won that. Now it's a new season, it's starting off. Yes, there's definite pressure, but there's pressure because he's managing Manchester United.
Robbo, your perception on this, because 12 points, that's how far off they were from Manchester City in a season which saw, I think, 9 teams at the summit of the Premier League throughout the course of the entire campaign. It's great to be in second place because they were third the season before, but is it truly good enough, do you feel? I mean, what would suffice for United and their fans and the board and all the players this season? The FA Cup, the Premier League, what's it going to be?
When you're talking about Manchester United, you're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world, and the expectation every season is and should be to win the league, and that's where they've got to get to. Martin's absolutely right. The pressure that comes with managing Manchester United, whether it be half a season as an interim manager or the full-time job, Ollie's been under a lot of pressure. There was rumours 3 or 4 times that he was going to lose his job. I think, in all honesty, they overachieved last year, getting second position. I think other teams fell away. I think they did extremely well to get there. And I think they've got it all on again to do it this year. You look at the way that other teams have strengthened, especially Chelsea, the money that Manchester City have spent. Yes, United have spent heavily on Sancho, and Varane looks like he's coming in as well now, which will strengthen them. But I still think that they're short of City. I think they've fallen a little bit behind Chelsea as well. Liverpool, we haven't seen strengthen. And I think it's going to be a really tough job for Ollie. I think you're right with the graphic you put on, that the honeymoon period is probably over, if he ever had one, let's be honest, as a manager of Manchester United. I think this will be the biggest challenge that he's had this season.
That's a strong word you just used, though, Robert. Overachieved. Martin, what do you think about that United overachieved last season?
Well, again, I think everything is relative, Adam, in the sense that, yes, I don't disagree with Paul in the sense that they did overachieve as such. You're finishing second and you're talking about Manchester United. There was the great old phrase when you've won a lot of trophies. I think it was Borg that retired when he said that finishing second was like you might as well finish 100th. But they did qualify. They were very, very close to getting that elusive trophy. Obviously, their best chance last year when eventually, after the whole season, relying then on that match against Villarreal, that would have been great. It would have been great just for Ollie just to have put that there onto the sideboard and say, yes, okay, this is the start. But again, new season, as Paul says, it is tough. Did they overachieve last season? Yeah, I'll have to say with Paul, I probably wouldn't disagree with that. But now, I don't think there can be an excuse. It's all or nothing.